Good morning, it's Norma Cowie, and I'm here with a Sunday thought. Excuse me. During the week, I had several thoughts about what I was going to talk about today, but something different happened yesterday. I was doing some channeling for several people, and during the channel, each person was given advice, and I'll say that because their guides come through using my voice, and they were giving them advice on how to find their inner peace. And I just found it very interesting that the people who were there, and actually it was interesting more because two people didn't make it on time. And so they didn't get in. I'm doing actually theirs this morning after this, a little later in the day, not too long later. But it was fascinating the different ways in which people could find their peacefulness. So it got me thinking a little bit about, well, what actually am I going to talk about today? Because there's a lot going on in the world out there. So I sat down with my tarot this morning and pulled 3 cards, which is often the way I want to find things. And what it showed me is that right now, a lot of people are really concerned and unsure about what's happening. You know, we hear news, we read reports, or many of us listen to the internet with different people's, or maybe our favorites like me, speakers that speak on different topics. So there's a lot of information coming in. And the one thing, the first symbol actually that showed up was the importance to accept your world, not the world outside that comes crashing in, because we do live in a changing times. If you talk to anyone that is involved in history or anything else, the one thing they're certain of, things change. Thing is, we do not like things changing. We do not like things to being different. And so what happens, we don't accept that this will be for our good, or our peacefulness, or our awareness. And so what happens, we go into franticness. We go into a sense of being unsure. And we go into fear because it's beyond our control. Well, it is beyond our control. We do not have control over many, many things. What we have control over is ourselves. What we have control over is what we choose to do and say and how to be. But we don't have control over how this world is evolving, this war here, this situation there, whatever. But because of our communications today, we are aware of all these things. And so what do we do with them? Rather than be going into fear and like franticness, like what's happening next, kind of the nervous system getting jolted. The first step is acceptance. This is happening a long way away. Let it be there. You can read about it, you can hear about it, you can anticipate different things about it, but it does not have to, unless you choose, to affect your world. You do not have to go into fear. You do not have to, you have choice. And that's the one thing we do have as humans, is we have choice. We can choose to be this way, that way, or the other. Because what really it is all about is us developing our sense of who we are, and our belief and our faith and our awareness of the world that we want to have and what we want to live in. Do we want to live in a world where we're fearful, even though we have no control over what's going to happen or what's going to take place, especially when it's thousands of miles away? Or are we going to work on our own inner guidance, our own inner strength, our own inner faith? Faith is a very, very important thing. Unfortunately, what I found sometimes, even with myself in the early years when I was working at developing what was balance, because we need to be balanced in our world, is that very often we get so caught up in something that we forget this little word called balance, that we have our own experiences through many lifetimes, according to me, right? And we have the experience of the now. So how do we balance that? How do we keep that in a form that's workable, taking us where we want to go, remembering that we are more than what we think we are? Right now, there's a lot of predictions going on. Well, it's actually been happening for some time. I've been hearing these probably for a good couple of years, few years now. All sorts of predictions, and a lot of them sound dire. A lot of them sound like, oh my goodness, what's that mean? And so mostly we just have to keep on keeping on without getting fearful and without losing our faith. Because if we lose our faith, we lose our balance. Now, you can have faith in whatever. You know, it's not like you have to have faith in this or that or the other, but it's like faith in the bigger picture, faith in your soul continuing no matter what. I am a bit of a, excuse me, I'm a bit of a history buff. And if you look back to early man, what they had to go through to survive. I've done past life regressions for people who lived like never knowing where some ferocious animal was going to come out at them, or consistently on the move, looking for food, looking for water, and maybe only having a small group of 10. If they had 15 people, because the kids grow up, but no, a lot of people died. And yet, guess what? They persevered. They carried on. They worked as a unit. And sometimes I find in our society today, we do not work as a unit. We work as separate. We kind of, what would you say, covet, hold on to what's ours or what we believe is ours. So it's like if you go through history, and there's some very good books written where they go through a whole, like, and I think it's Edward Rutherford wrote about London and England and Ireland and other countries. I think there was one on Israel too. Yeah, there was actually. And you'll find he covers it from the beginning, the history of a people's, a history. And that, yes, he makes it personal. It's a story. And he makes it personal of these different families. Some begin quite wealthy and some begin with nothing, and then the things reverse. That's like life and the balancing effect. And interestingly enough, 2 of the 3 symbols that I have does talk about balance. What do we believe? What do we want in our lifetime? And from yesterday, the one thing I found was the importance of having peace inside, having your vibration reunite without worry, like without fear, without concern, because you're more than what you think. You are more than what can be. And it's like as you balance, as you concentrate on your growth, on your progress, no matter what it is a sense of being and a sense of an awareness and a sense of growth. Yes, there is a lot of ideas of what's yet to come, but you'll deal with it when it comes. You don't have to deal with it before. And most of us, we just live our lives coping with change, coping with a new reality, a new sense. And a lot of us who are older, I think more than the younger ones, is like, oh my goodness, what's this going to mean? You know, we already have a lot of people making judgments and not allowed to do this and not allowed to do that and not allowed to do the other. And you got to, and most of us didn't grow up with that. And yet the younger people accept that because that's what they're growing up with. Things are changing. And we must not be afraid but rather grow on our faith, our peace, our awareness, so that we can move forward in our loving sense of ourselves and our lives, because that's who we truly are. As humanity, as people of this planet, we have survived so much, so much. Volcanoes, tidal waves, ice. Do you know how many times the world has iced pretty well all over, except for little bits? All sorts of things have happened. And guess what? We as humans have survived, and we will continue to survive no matter what, because this is what this planet is about. This is what this planet supports: humans learning, growing, and being aware of their feelings, being aware of who they are and where they're going. So that's my Sunday thought for this week. Know and be all that you can be. Know that you are more. Use your more as you rebalance yourself in that peaceful place and that knowledge place that you have about all those many lives that you've had. All the generational element that also comes in, which I haven't really touched on for quite some time, but is there. So I wish you a great week, a really, really good week. And I will see you on Monday night for mental mind treatments. If you need a prayer on anything, come join us at 7:00. And again, of course, I'm back for Norma Talks on Wednesday. I just want to invite people. A couple of people have said, Maggie G has said, "Good morning, Norma. Oh, happy day." Yes, oh, happy day. And one person, I said, complaint disc. That's interesting. I was in your class in Surrey in 1978. Shows you how long I've been around. But yes, and now I'm in Penticton. Lovely town, very quiet. So Surrey is busy. My friends are still there, but I'm here. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for your comments. I want to thank you for the subscriptions. More subscribers. This I noticed today when I came on, and I appreciate every one of them. And those that refer me on to their friends, blessings to you. I will see you Monday night. Bye now.